Hi, how's it going? Welcome to the channel, and I am here for an album review. So for this review, I'm going to be reviewing Leprous's new album, Pitfalls. Now, maybe some of you guys don't know this, but there was actually a point in time where I listened to these guys quite a bit back in the day, mainly back in 2015, back when the album The Congregation came out. And the song that got me into them was the song The Price, and I wanted to listen to more of these guys ever since. And yeah, I really like the album The Congregation. That's when I did discover them, and when I heard that they were coming out with their album Milena, whatever it's called, I can't remember what it was called, their last album. I just know it started with an M. I really like that album too. I don't really remember too much from it besides the closing track, but I do remember liking The Congregation more. And I'm pretty sure that my opinion would probably still stand with that. So when I heard that Leprous was coming out with a new album entitled Pitfalls, it was an album that I was interested in checking out because I do like, even though I don't listen to them a whole lot, and even though they're not a band that I've really invested in too much, they're still a band that I, respect, because I think they're actually one of the better bands that formed in the latter portion of the 2000s, or at least, released their debut in the latter portion of the 2000s. Because I'm not really too fond of, newer bands, you could say. But Leprous, I do think, is one of the better newer bands, so to say. So, yeah, this is their brand new album, Pitfalls, and I just gotta say that this album is really good. It really is. It pleasantly surprised me. Do I think it's their best album? I kind of think it's better than their last album overall, but there's some things I do like about the last album, Milena, whatever it's called, more than this album. But this album, Pitfalls, is still very good. I still really like this album, don't get me wrong. Now, right off the bat, when they came out with the singles Below and Alleviate, these songs pretty much gave you a good idea what to expect for the album. Below is probably my favorite of the singles. I really like this song. This song really does demonstrate everything that Leprous does right. Everything from the hard-hitting instrumentation to the vocals. I'm not really sure who the vocalist, his name is. I apologize about that. But this guy's vocals, man, I've always been very intrigued by his vocals, and they really shine in this song a lot. In this song Below. This guy, he's really got some incredible range to his voice. Some of the best that I've heard in music, period. I don't know how he can, do it that he does. Some of the most impressive vocal work I've heard in progressive metal, personally. But this song Below really does show that, with his vocal ranges and just everything that the band does right, I think. Now, this album definitely has a lot of surprises, a lot of intriguing songs, such as, of course, Observe the Train, At the Bottom, I Lose Hope, and Foreigner. These songs all very much so intrigued me. Foreigner, I think, is one of the heaviest tracks on the album. As far as the instrumentation goes, of course, definitely a very unique track, I think. And I think At the Bottom was a song that I thought was very intriguing. As far as the instrumentation goes, everything is just great. I think this album also does a good job of knowing when to calm things down, That's one of the things I've always appreciated Leprous for. They know how to deliver this atmosphere, but they also have this variety in them to, be a little more energetic within their music, such as in the song Foreigner. Now, with the closing track to this album, The Sky is Red. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really love Leprous's closing tracks. Especially the closing tracks to their last two albums, with Lower and The Last Milestone. I thought those songs were very good. Very phenomenal ways to close both the albums, Congregation and Milena, or whatever. So, Leprous, that's one of the things I always gave them credit for, is their closing tracks. I always thought that they know how to do a phenomenal job closing off their albums. So whenever I went into this song, The Sky is Red, I was really expecting, that big, epic closing finale track, And would I say that they did deliver with that? Well, not exactly. I do think that this closing track is not as satisfying as the closing tracks to their last couple of albums. And with that being said, I was a little disappointed by that. Now, that's not to say that this is a bad song, or this song doesn't have any, epic finale cinematic vibes to it or anything, but it's not as present, and it just seems kind of like a downgrade to the closing tracks to their last couple of albums. And this is one of the longer tracks on the album too. It's a little over 11 minutes, and yeah, I do think this closing track does get the job done. But if you're expecting something that's better than the last couple of closing tracks, you're probably going to be disappointed. Unless my opinion is just unpopular. But that's just what I think of it. Now, again, that's not to say that it's not a good closing track or it's not a good song, but don't go into this closing track thinking it's going to satisfy you like the last couple of closing tracks did. But of course, I still think it's a really good song. So as far as favorites of mine on this album, they would have to be below. Probably Observe the Train and At the Bottom. Those are probably my top three by far off this record. I think this album is really good. I felt like I had the obligation to talk about this album, due to my history with Leprous. I understand maybe some people don't even realize that, I do like a little bit of Leprous, so there you go. That's my take on Leprous's new album, Pitfalls. I think it's a good album. If I were to give it a score, I'll have to give it an 8 out of 10. And is this one of Leprous's best albums? It very well could be. I don't know. I haven't heard everything by Leprous. I've heard the last few albums for sure, though. But yeah, with this new album, Pitfalls, I think it's a really good album. So let me know what you guys think of Pitfalls by Leprous. And I'll just leave you guys with that. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.